What's up guys? So today we'll do a quick video on the idea regarding if a girl or guy has already expressed that they're not interested, is there still a chance you can possibly turn them around? Now this is a topic that's quite common actually, and there's a lot of different beliefs, but I think generally most people think that there's a possibility. And some of it comes from romantic movies or just films in general where this sort of stuff happens. But I think the general consensus is that it's very hard to do. It's not impossible, but it's very hard to do because by definition, the reason that they didn't like you in the first place was probably something that's natural to you, wherein that you express yourself naturally. We're assuming you weren't fake initially, you expressed your true personality. And because of that, they probably took in the whole package, looks, personality, and everything, and expressed disinterest. And so we're assuming here that it's fairly clear that they're not interested initially. And so it's not impossible to do, but most people can't just up and change their personalities like that, or go from someone who's clumsy or it doesn't work to someone who's just really, really good. Whether that means he's very smooth or he's very witty or he has a great sense of humor. Most people don't really just shift like that. And so if this were to happen, I would only see it working if it was like over many years, and between those years you didn't stay in contact with the person and you worked on changing yourself and bettering yourself. If you stayed in contact, then it's just one of those classical cases of one of those losers who can't get over the fact that he got rejected and still thinks he has a chance, and just makes a further fool of himself for years by being this girl's slave for the next 3 years, hoping that something would change. And so the only other exception I could think of would probably be if, let's say you are very witty or charismatic, or you have a great sense of humor initially, and you express that to the girl, and for whatever reason she was having a bad day or whatever, she wasn't interested initially, but then you turn that around because you know it was a very shallow, superficial first interaction, and that persistence pays off. But then again, those are for the people who had that sort of sense of humor and charisma initially already. And so my general theory or perspective behind this is, I recommend you guys to, at least try twice, just so you know that it wasn't just some initial superficial or shallow thing that wrecked your first interaction or caused that first rejection. Although in most cases it's usually like a prolonged interaction that culminates in that first rejection. So it's unlikely but still probable and possible that it can happen. And again, maybe after that second attempt or whatever, if it's fairly clear at that point, the rest is up to you. My recommendation is maybe move on to another girl and work on developing yourself. And then after like a certain threshold time period, 2 or 3 years, you can possibly try again if you think you have a chance again. You don't have to have changed that much, but if you think, you know what, it's been a few years, then why not? Or you can just keep trying constantly until you're adamantly sure that this girl just isn't interested. And in that case, I recommend just not turning it into a harassing, annoying situation where you're just that annoying guy who's constantly harassing this girl when it's pretty darn clear she's not interested. So there comes a threshold where etiquette comes in, and then you kind of have to move on. And it's not about persistence or ego or who's the stronger man, or whether or not you persisted enough. It's really just etiquette. Like, you're not really generating anything positive from the interaction. You're just harassing this person and the stranger, and it's just not great. So it's a tough thing to it's a tough thing to chew through. Honestly, I know where it's coming from. It's very tough to take it and just move on, especially when you still like not really sure if there's still a chance. Sometimes it's delusional, okay? Because some people will be like, "Oh, I still have a chance," when it's fairly clear this girl will never be really interested, and she's rejected you fairly clearly. But I would say once you get to that state, you know what? Try one or two more times, and then hand it in. Even if there's a small amount of hope, I mean, you can keep trying, but you really have to have some inner compass and calibration, where you're pretty darn clear. And I think most people do have that. But again, most people give up too easily. So it really depends on which crowd I'm talking to. So that's all I gotta say. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Peace.